The brain is more vulnerable to addiction as it continues to develop in teens. 90% of Americans with a substance abuse problem started smoking, drinking, or using other drugs, states the experts from Above the Influence. If you have used tobacco products, drank alcohol, or misused prescription medicines, then you have used drugs. Throughout my life, I have seen drugs and alcohol tear apart friendships and families. Using drugs can lead to addiction, serious health problems, and even death. Today, we will discuss exactly what drug addiction is, the short-term effects, and the long-term effects. Let's begin by learning what drug addiction is. Defined by Dr. Stopler at medicine.net, drug abuse is a disorder that is characterized by a destructive pattern of using a substance that leads to significant problems or distress. Drug abuse does not select bad people. It can happen to anyone at any time, and it affects people in different ways. And some people tend to forget exactly what drug abuse is. You start with one cigarette, and then you go to one beer, and then you start hanging around with the wrong people, and you start smoking weed, and then the high for the weed isn't good anymore, and then you move on to something harder. According to Dr. Stopler at medicinenet.com, drug addiction, also called substance dependency or chemical dependency, is a disease that is characterized by a destructive pattern of drug abuse that leads to significant problems that use of the substance cause for the sufferer, either socially or in terms of their work or school performance. Addiction is due 50% to genetics and 50% to poor coping skills. This has been confirmed by many studies. One study shows that 860 identical twins and 653 fraternal twins. When one identical twin was addicted to alcohol, the other twin had a high probability. But with the non-identical twins, one had an addiction and the other had no sign. The study shows that 50 to 60% of addiction is due to genetic factors, according to Dr. Prescott in his book, MJ Psychiatry. The doctors from National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, alcohol in small dosages reduce tension and relaxation, but these are also accompanied by reduced inhibition, which is your ability to stop yourself from doing something you usually wouldn't do. Your coordination and reaction time, all of which puts you at risk. Following marijuana use, a teenager decreases in cognitive abilities that can last much longer than in adults. With regular use, the alterations to the brain caused by marijuana use become prolonged by frequent reoccurrences, which can lead to lowering learning capabilities, a shortened attention span, and weakened communication skills. That is from the California Society of Addiction and Medicine. Nicotine gets you hooked, but it's the other chemicals that cause major damage. According to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, those chemicals are carbon monoxide, tar, formaldehyde, cyanide, and ammonia, which are all cancer-causing chemicals. So now you know the short-term effects. I'm going to talk to you about the long-term effects. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, alcohol travels through your bloodstream and can damage your brain, your stomach, your liver, and your muscles. As a teen, your body is still developing, so damaging now can affect the rest of your life. marijuana becomes addictive, and it affects the brain's reward system in the same way as all other drugs. When marijuana use becomes daily, alterations to the brain can actually lead to inability to perceive any negative impact. You probably already know that the main problems with smoking is cancer and lung disease. In a 40-year span, 1964 to 2004, cigarette smoking caused an estimated 12 million deaths. 94,000 infant deaths related to mothers smoking during pregnancy. So now that you know that using drugs can lead to abuse, addiction, serious health problems, and even death. Using drugs can ruin your life, your body, your mind, as well as many other things. So today I hope I have informed you on why you should not do drugs. I have informed you on why you shouldn't do drugs, and I have given you the hard facts. And I hope you think about the next time you have a cigarette or a beer and how you're harming your body.